All right, welcome back to Bag Society. I'm your co-host Jay with my other co-host,
S.
and of course the other one.
And see money.
Yeah.
So last week we had the NFL draft. Ravens looking up. I think DeCosta cooked. I'm so glad we didn't take a wide receiver in the very first pick. I think he addressed real concerns what we had, and I like what Nate Wiggins brings to the table personally.
Yeah, I do too. I watched one highlight of him. Oh, so
Was the
so
90-yard? Was it the 98-yard interception?
no, he got beat by a wide receiver, and I was like, oh my god. But luckily, the Ravens were smart and drafted that wide receiver.
Wait, we did. The
Yeah.
very receiver that beat him. That's hilarious. That's
But hold up.
hilarious.
So here's the thing, though. In the 2 years that he was playing college football, he's only given up one 20-yard, like 120-yard reception.
Mhm.
More like so
Pretty
I mean,
solid.
That is
dude,
solid.
It's in
solid.
college.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's
College
incredible.
always translate to NFL.
And the one guy that did it, we ended up drafting him. So, the guy at a UNC, Tez Walker, I think his name is.
Tez Walker.
Yeah. There was a lot of wide receiver studs in this draft, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
there
they
was a
were.
lot.
And we got a lineman, which we need because I think we only have two. We got Lindenberg and Stanley
Mhm.
returning. And, so, well, I feel like we had
Ronnie
a good.
Stanley, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, there's days when he's hot, and there's days when you're just like, just cut him. Just cut him like halftime, man. Just cut him at halftime. Done with
Oh,
it.
and the lineman that we picked up was the right tackle for Washington.
Mhm.
And I think
Mm.
the quarterback that got drafted by Atlanta, he's a runner too.
Penix.
Panks or something like that.
Panks,
So
yeah.
he protected his blind side and never gave up a sack in the 2 years of starting. Never gave
That's
up
pretty
a sack.
solid. That's pretty solid.
That's what, dude. I was like, man, these.
Even though Atlanta totally messed up on that pick, but like whatever.
Well, who are they supposed to get? I think
They
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 did the
had
right.
Kirk Cousins. Why do you need anyone else? He's a legend.
Did you see the video of him trying to explain to like Arthur Blank why they chose him, like the GM? I guess like Arthur Blank came down there and was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "We just signed a quarterback."
And they were probably just like, oh yeah.
And then he went on the press conference. Was like, if he has to sit 5 or 6 years, it's like, what? There's no way this guy's gonna want to sit 5 or 6 years.
No, 2 years max. But he definitely should sit 1 year. They should have drafted a wide receiver.
Yeah, like why aren't you trying to build up Kirk Cousins and like everything around him, dude?
Yeah.
It made no sense. It made no sense.
Dude,
But whatever, man.
I think it's funny. I think we won the draft easily. I'd like to see what Bears do with Caleb, since they're still
Oh my
the
gosh.
talks for a new $7 billion stadium here in good old Chicago. So it'd be nice to have like a new quarterback with it.
I just saw some meme where it was like, Mitch Trubisky 2017, Justin Fields 20 whatever, and then it says like, this guy Caleb Williams 2024 is like he's gonna be a Steeler by 2027.
I mean, I saw it too. I was just like, yeah, the Steelers have gotten their new.
It's so
quarterback.
good. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, like it's an embarrassing franchise. Like I'm so glad I just live here and
Well, how
was
tall
born
is
somewhere
Caleb
else.
Williams? I don't think he's that tall. Was he like 6 foot?
I'm not sure.
He's got to be a little bit taller than that, doesn't
Not
he?
sure. I mean, there was like the only thing I know about is that he paints his fingernails, and some people were very livid about it.
I don't trust the guy that paints their fingernails.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I think because football is you got to be mentally and physically strong, and I just think it's a weakness.
It's just paint on the fingernail, man.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah, you should have other things you're worried about instead of painting your nails pretty colors.
yeah.
Like what?
Hey,
This man had
like
a
winning football
penthouse
games.
outside of his college, man. He could paint his fingernails.
He's 6'1". I don't think he's gonna be that good.
I don't think he's that good. I mean, he was trash this year. Well, the team was.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he had all the hype in the beginning, and then like midway through the season, it was just like everyone's like, "Oh, Caleb, he's looking like a fraud."
I think, especially because if you look at the history with his coach, Lincoln Riley.
Right.
I mean, Lincoln Riley, everywhere he goes, he has success. He turns out Heisman Trophy winners. Caleb Williams won a Heisman Trophy. But still, though, like, he doesn't have that. His team record sucks, so he doesn't have that ability to elevate the people around him.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's a huge, like, how do you just not look at that?
See, that's
You know what I mean?
worries about me. What worries me about him being in Chicago, because like they don't have a good track record of developing good QBs at all.
Yeah, they're not.
They're the only team that hasn't had a QB that threw for like what 4,000 yards. The only team.
Yeah. I mean, what was the last decent like cut? Jay Cutler?
Cutler was their best
the last quarterback that they had.
That was the last decent one. And before Jay Cutler, you probably can't name another one.
That was decent?
Yeah.
Kyle Orton.
I mean, I thought he really picked it up when he was on the Bills, but not Chicago.
No, he was good in Chicago. He took them to the playoffs. He took them to the Super Bowl, and then they switched him out for Rex Grossman.
Now we're talking. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, Rex Grossman, yeah, he should have won. He should have outgunned Peyton Manning.
But I mean, but here's the thing though, because the Bears, they're like, they have receivers, right?
Right.
They got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. They just got that receiver from Washington, who could have gone number 1 as well. You know, so they got some weapons. It's not.
Go to waste.
It's because they can get talent. They get good talent. It's just whoever is their like quarterback coach or operating things, it's just not it. They need to get rid of that guy. You know what I mean? Because I mean, Justin Fields was good. He can run. I think he was good.
We'll see on the Steelers, man. We'll see.
Man, I'm looking at some of these old quarterbacks for them, man. Brian Greasy.
Yeah.
Cordell Stewart was there. He had 7 starts in 2003.
Yeah. It's like I said, Kyle Orton took him to the Super Bowl.
They should have signed Flacco.
He's a Colt, baby.
Josh McCown, Caleb Haney.
Josh McCown, that was a magical season, his first season there. It was magical.
Jimmy Clausen.
Hey, he beat the Steelers for us.
Brian Hoyer.
But I mean, like, this is the same team that took Mitch Trubisky as the number 1 pick.
It was really embarrassing. And while Mahomes was on the board, too.
How do you get smoke screen like that, man? Like, that bad?
Have you seen that video of that, like, guy, like, getting mad when they draft Patrick Mahomes? He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, oh, this is why we'll never win a Super Bowl. He's like, the Bears got Mitch Trubisky. He's going to be great. Like, that's it's so funny, dude.
Embarrassing take. Like, never give a take again after that, right?
The whole meme was about like, the internet doesn't forget or something like that,
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if like some of these teams, they actually like go and scout because like.
I mean, you have to wonder sometimes.
I think, yeah, because I think they just turn on ESPN and just, oh, this guy's supposed to be good. Let's just pick him. Everybody's saying he's good.
Turn on the NCAA highlight reels.
Dude, it's so bad.
Yeah, they're just flipping through like TikTok and just looking at highlights.
Yeah, the hype reels.
Caleb Williams' best year is going to be his first year.
Yeah, and it's not going to be that great.
And it's not even going to be that good. And then he's going to go downhill from there.
Yeah, he'll be on the Steelers in 3 years. We already settled that debate.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. It's going to be a wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful time when we injure him too.
Kansas City though has got something to be. They got. Their receiver just got super, super fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they drafted that one speedster. That was their first round pick.
Were they, even though he's 150 pounds soaking wet, Marquise Brown, 150 pounds soaking wet.
You were really upset about that.
With Marquise Brown?
Yeah, when we first had him.
Yeah, because we need an X. We finally drafted an X.
Yeah, he's a big body receiver, right?
Yeah, he's a big body. Yeah, and he's got speed. He ran a 4.3 40, and he's a big guy. So I mean, like, yeah, we're good on that one. And he was, dude. If you look up his highlight film, like he went to North Carolina, University of North Carolina, and their quarterback got drafted number 3 by the Patriots. And every yeah, so I mean, and he was that guy. He was that guy. He was that receiver, their number 1 receiver. So that was a good
Yeah, and it was late
good.
too. It was like a fourth round or something, fourth or fifth round.
Yeah, dude, that was.
I
Good
don't think the
pick.
Patriots are going to do anything with him.
I'm excited. Yeah, I don't think so neither. But
I think once again the Ravens are going to win this. We're going to win the division. It's a lock. I'm sorry. If Lamar remains healthy, it's a lock. When is it not though? You know.
yeah, I think Lamar's gonna have a good year.
I think it's going to have a good
I
year.
hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I mean, we don't really have a competition when you think about it for the division.
We're still in the
No.
hardest division.
Hmm?
We're
I
still.
mean, I think the Browns are gonna. They found some fire last year. I think that's gonna translate over.
The Bengals.
The Bengals can only go up.
Yeah.
The Steelers are just gonna. Justin
Steelers
Fields
always
is just.
The
Steelers.
Bengals are figured out. The Steelers and Browns, of course, are going to fight for the basement again because that's just who they are. I don't see Russ Wilson doing all that great. Or if they switch out for Fields, even better. That's just going to be funny.
I think I could see Justin Fields playing
Yeah, I don't think Russell.
because I mean Russell Wilson's gonna last 3 games and they're gonna be like,
I know.
"What did we do?"
I know. I just want them to start asking him to cook. You know, being like, "Let him cook, man. Let him cook." And
Oh
then
my
throws like a
God.
pick or something. That's gonna be fucking.
Dude,
awesome.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be 3 games and they're gonna be like, "All right, we're putting in Justin Fields." Or he's gonna pull an Aaron Rodgers and just go out first game, first
Bro,
series.
if that happened, that'd be man. We might actually see Aaron Rodgers play this season too.
I know.
I'm excited for
Kind of forgot that I haven't really seen him.
No.
It's kind of weird.
I mean, I don't blame anyone for forgetting he was on the team. He played for one snap.
Yeah.
That was so
crazy.
wild.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that a couple times too. Just like him running in on 9/11 with the flag.
He's our American hero.
Our American hero, and then he goes straight down.
Oh my God, that was wild. That was like one of those things where you're like, that didn't just happen. There's just no way. There's just no way.
Jets fans were just so like excited that we got the goat. We got
Super
the goat.
Bowl.
All
Super
that
Bowl.
money for one snap.
Super Bowl.
And then what? Zach Wilson steps in and goes, "Oh fuck!"
Yo, oh, fuck.
Like
I didn't see this
He's
one
like-
coming.
It was so
and now he's on the Broncos. So
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers went down and went on like a podcast tour. My God, it was awesome. Awesome season.
well, it was amazing.
The podcast
It was
tour
amazing.
was great.
The whole thing, the whole like the wave that they were riding.
Had a really good time. All right. Moving on from the draft. How do we feel about the moon?
Fake.
All right. So this is all in relation. So I watched what's the guy's name? Bart Sabrell. Bart Sabrell. Sabrell.com. He says it about 1,000 times during the Rogan podcast. This dude, so he's a moon landing denier. But I mean,
Dime a dozen.
he makes most conspiracy theorists seem like rational.
Yeah.
This man is like he's so locked in, and there's no changing his mind. So I'm telling you, Jay, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, if I was a denier, I now believe just because I hate this man so much.
I love those times, man.
He's so, and he gets mad at Rogan. He's like, "Whose side are you on?" That's pretty much what he's asking.
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you believe?" And blah blah blah. And I'm telling you, man,
like zero pushback whatsoever.
100%.
It was supposed to be just
100%.
Yeah.
And then anytime they ask him for proof, he says, "We'll go to Sabrell.com. We have 17 free videos, and you can see all the proof there."
Yep.
Dude.
Any pushback, he would cry.
Allegedly sell moon rocks at the Smithsonian. Do you believe those are actually real moon rocks that you can buy for 50 cents?
Okay. Here's the other thing, though, right? So anything that has to do with the moon landing, he discounts, right? The math, whatever they said, everything was a lie. He brings up Werner von Braun a lot,
Yeah.
but during when he was the NASA administrator, liar. But his work earlier is the truth. So like, unless it could be the same person who says we landed on the moon, but if they said something differently, like 15 years before, that's the truth. But they're lying when they get to NASA.
Yeah.
So like,
how that works.
yeah, he loves to believe everything unless it contradicts him, even from the same person. And like I saw one comment, it was like, that's like talk about believing everything and nothing all at the same time. Like that's how this guy is.
He was pretty cemented in his argument. There was no
There's no bend in his mind. And I'm telling you, later it gets wild. You haven't gotten there when he got kidnapped and drugged by the CIA and escaped their custody.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, he's fat.
He escaped their custody, huh?
I'm telling you, and then he said he was tripping and hallucinating and throwing up, but he was smart enough to piss in a cup and turn it into a urine lab. But
There
guess what?
Wait a minute.
Istanbul got stolen over the weekend.
So they drugged him.
Yep, and
were interrogated. He still managed to outsmart the CIA
and escape.
To escape. Yep. And then he shows his face on the biggest platform podcast in the world.
But this is like 2 decades ago.
This is my guy. Okay.
So I'm telling you, a lot of the stuff he talks about, it's all from the early 90s. So he's the guy who ambushed Neil Armstrong in a hotel.
Oh, are you serious?
To make him like swear on the Bible that he landed on the moon.
That's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What's wrong?
I'm pretty sure too, this dude's like a Mormon. So like he'll probably just believe anything. The only reason I picked that up is because he was talking about going to church and he said something about the elders. I was like, oh, I know where this is going, dude. And how aliens are also fallen angels. Oh. And he gets into the Nephilim and all that stuff.
Dude, when I would one of those like Histora videos I made, it was about the like those like lizard statues from there was a lot of people that commented going like, are you stupid? They're fallen angels, obviously. You know, I fucking sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't understand. Like, yeah, aliens are all fallen angels. Like, the whole, like, alien is a satanic plot, you know, to cover up.
That's kind
demons. I didn't realize
Tucker
that was
Carlson's
belief. Huh?
Tucker Carlson's belief is that it's all supernatural and, like, they're all aliens or spiritual beings.
Carlson's belief is whatever the audience believes. Let's be real.
You know, they said that when UFOs were starting to get big, like they were saying there was people in the government that wanted to withhold the knowledge because they were saying that it was satanic. Like Lou Elizondo said that.
Right.
So like, but here's the thing.
But didn't he say that was one person's like belief? And aren't they like kind of religious?
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? Like, nobody really knows. Everybody just knows that there's something out there, right?
Right.
And, you know...
Just go to Sabral.com. He'll have all...
on the first page.
Why are you interviewing him, man? Just go to his website.
And the thing is like, you have all these ancient stories, like the sky people, you know, the Nephilim, the fallen angels. Something is coming from the sky and coming down here.
Right.
That's what it is. They all have different names. Nobody knows. The Watchers.
Oh, that's my favorite, dude.
You know,
The Watchers are great.
That's one of my favorite books.
So yeah, but you know, here's the thing though. What do we really know about the moon, right?
Well, again, we know like it's made out of cheese.
Yes.
We know it's hollow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bases on the dark side. We know that for certain. They made a bunch of documentaries about it. What else do we know about the moon? It's probably artificial.
Yeah.
Probably. You know.
Oh man, let me tell you what. I got into some deep flat earther stuff this weekend.
You did. What you do?
It was like flat earth, but a lot of it was like flat earth versus like scientists and like the debunking. Oh dude, it was awesome.
Was it a bloodbath? It sounds like it might have been a bloodbath.
It was. Okay, let me tell you what. I believe some of these flat earthers more than I believe this guy that the moon was fake. That's how bad this guy is. Like I mean, some of the flat Earth stuff is, it's kind of hard to like take seriously. But like, they're, yeah, I don't know. But I was really into it. I was trying to like understand all their points of view. And my favorite thing, so those videos where they'll have like, I can't remember who makes them, where they'll have like opposing sides and they'll stand and like walk forward if you believe whatever, right? Like,
Jubilee.
Yeah.
yes. And they'll like talk. So I watched one of those, and the one guy's like, I'm an astrophysicist and blah blah blah, and this one girl's like, I'm a critical thinker, and
God, it's such an abused term nowadays.
and I'm just like sitting there like, I already discount you.
Yeah.
And she said she went to West Point, so she was like an Army officer.
Critical thinker just means I use Google a lot. That's all it means. I Google everything.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos.
YouTube videos from like some dude who has like 60 followers or something like that.
Critical thinkers are psyoped to the max.
It's not. It's critical thinking is like an aesthetic nowadays. Everyone who's like everyone who's just a contrarian nowadays calls himself a critical thinker. Oh, the government says one thing, it must be false. I'm a critical thinker.
But here's the thing, though. Honestly, though, it's a good thing that there's so much variety out there. Everybody should question reality and what it is.
We should, but a lot of people are just believing like straight up dumb shit nowadays too, and more people are doing it.
Yeah, that is becoming an issue.
Like 10 years ago, you wouldn't be thinking about this flat Earth shit, right?
You wouldn't be saying it out loud.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't be saying it out loud.
Was it even a thing 10 years ago? 15 years ago? Before YouTube, was it a thing?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was like Galileo.
It was barely a thing.
The only thing you knew about flat
Galileo
Earth,
was...
they used to believe that before Galileo. That's the only thing you will hear about flat Earth.
Yeah.
And even before Galileo, they kind of knew it was round. Like it was a sphere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, cultures before that.
I mean, who's the guy who measured the circumference of the Earth?
Wasn't that some, like, Greek dude?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was before Galileo.
Yeah.
Like, they knew it was round. They knew the Earth had a curvature to it.
But I think it was the church that made it seem flat, right?
No, Galileo dispelled that the sun revolved around the Earth. And the Earth revolved. It was about heliocentrism.
Yeah.
That was his big thing.
Yeah.
Because we were no longer the center of the universe.
Yeah. Which is a scary thought. Because I am the center of the universe. It's just me.
What I'm saying is, like, people are just believing dumb and dumber shit lately, and like,
it's not even that. It's not even that. It's not that they believe dumber shit. It's just that they're solidified so hard in it. There's no turning them away.
Yeah.
And then they just they live in those echo chambers.
Yeah.
And they'll drape themselves in like, fancy words like critical thinking or I just believe in common sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing this dude does. He's like, why else would you do it except unless you wanted to perpetrate a lie? And it's like, well, what are you talking about, dude? Like, that was his only thing. It's like, you'd only fake pictures if you wanted to perpetrate a lie. Mm-hmm. And Rogan was like, he's like, okay, well, what if they went to the moon? The pictures got destroyed because of all the radiation and they had to recreate them. And he's like, why would you do that? Like, wouldn't entertain any other explanation. Yeah. It's either A or B. That's it.
He was solidified. But you're right, though. You are seeing that. Like, even like you guys said with Tucker Carlson, he was solidified in pretty much all his arguments. Graham Hancock, he's solidified.
At least with Graham Hancock, I think like you'll see a little bit of change in his from his early writing to like now.
Yeah.
His big beef is just with like the institution.
Yeah, the institution. Yeah.
More so than like the facts. Like the actual he just, because I think he's been shit on for so long.
Yeah.
He just actually hates those people.
Well, see,
the
thing is, Graham Hancock is actually looking for the advanced or ancient civilizations that were more advanced, where the other guy was like, we have models, like we can detect from this, and then that's where we go and dig. Or if a company is trying to put something here and we have to do an archaeological dig, that's when we start looking for things. Like he wasn't saying directly. Like they were arguing about two different things.
It is.
Yeah, they kind of were.
It is pretty hard to like, let's say, dig in Egypt. You know, you need backers, you need permissions, you need a lot of things.
But the government won't let them. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, the government denies a lot of
Yeah.
digging.
And people want to know why.
Well, because like a lot of people who actually ask to dig are destructive. Look at Troy; they just dynamited it.
Yeah, but I think that's different, right? Like you got also got to admit that they've come a long way in like technique. Like that guy was a crazy person.
Yeah, he was. He was crazy. He was German, by the way.
Yeah,
exactly.
They have come a long way, but there's also a lot of things that you also have to take into account for like how the community feels, because you are disturbing possibly graves, you are disturbing possible like religious sites. Like no one's allowed to dig underneath like the Ark of the Dome, underneath the Temple Mount or anything. You're not allowed to. They've tried a lot of times to see what's under there because we still don't really have physical proof Solomon's Temple even existed.
Well, now they have like radar penetration things, whatever, where they can put
ground penetrating radar.
Yeah. So they know where things are and they can see things. So they just, if you got it all mapped out underground already, what's the harm? You know, the problem is.
Yeah.
The problem is that
but ground penetrating radar doesn't give you the exact makeup of what you're actually getting yourself into.
But it will tell you there's something there.
Like, hey, there's like a chasm there or something.
There would be cities, bro. What are you talking about? There's like crazy amount of stuff under. Hey, you guys want to hear this crazy theory, or not theory, but like this conspiracy?
Go for it.
All right. So like, they say, in the coming years, aliens are supposed to like come over and attack us or whatever. And the Earth, right, has a protective mechanism. It has its own UFO under the Sphinx of the Paul. And there's supposed to be a person that's supposed to go to Egypt under the Sphinx and unlock it to save the Earth.
All right, this seems like a fever dream.
Who is they?
I don't know. I remember reading it like 15 years ago.
Where is this from? I've never heard this crazy theory.
I've never heard this either. I know about.
Is this Eric von Daniken?
I think it's something off of like the Emerald tablets or something.
I think this is a morph of like that one clairvoyant guy who would claim the
Edgar Casey,
that there was a door underneath the Sphinx paw that would lead to like Atlantis. That's where all the information of Atlantis is, and it's probably just formed from that.
Oh, I think they said like some of the things from the Library of Alexander's, or like the history of like the planet is under the Sphinx paw.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to look under Egypt because it's. And Graham Hancock is right though. They should do some archaeological digs in the Sahara Desert. Like there should be.
I mean, I don't even want to think about how difficult that would be.
It would be difficult.
The question is, what's the starting point?
Yeah, that is true.
Is it the Richat structure? Like, do you start around that
100%,
area?
100%.
The Eye of the Sahara?
100%. I mean, like, bro,
what country is that in? Is that in the Sahel?
It's like marine, it starts with an M.
I know there's like some turbulence happening in those countries lately.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
To pay off like some.
Is it Mauritius? No.
Gang lawyer or something.
No, there's just a lot of coups, because a lot of those territories are.
Niger is going through a coup. Chad's going through coups. Yeah.
A lot of it's like boiling points from like French.
Sudan.
Like a lot of it's just boiling point because they are technically still French colonies economically at least, and there's a lot of people unhappy about that.
Yeah, well, every country should have its right to govern its own country. See fit, I guess. Yeah. But what do we really know about the moon?
Okay, I just told you.
Wasn't the ancient Greek?
Should we dig in the moon?
I think there would be priceless resources on there
I mean, if we
probably.
can find helium-3 on the moon, that'd be awesome.
I don't think there's anything on the moon.
I think they said. I think they did say like the moon is hollow though.
Nobody's ever said that.
No, they said they
I said that.
no they I
It's
think a
hollow. I'm
drone
telling you.
yeah, a drone hit it or something and it rang like a bell, which indicated that it was hollow.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. I did hear about that.
Yeah. And then I do know like the moon is the only anomaly because it shouldn't be as big as it is. It's especially being in our gravitational pull. Like the Earth has like the biggest moon, like that we know of.
No, it doesn't.
Like no, it doesn't. You mean like maybe in relation to its size?
In relation to its size.
There's moons in Jupiter that are about Earth size.
But I mean in relations to its size.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I mean. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is like if the moon has a gravitational pull, which it does,
Yeah.
it couldn't be hollow because it would just be smaller. Like gravity wouldn't allow for it to be hollow; it would be
Right.
condensed.
And then what? Why is it that we only see one side of it?
Because it's tidally locked. Look, yeah, because
Yeah.
of like the overwhelming force of the Earth, it just makes it tidally locked. Like it's moving, but it's always just one phase. That's why there's no such thing as the dark side of the moon, right? It's
Yeah.
just we don't see it.
We don't.
And then there's something called I was just listening to something about this, like double tidally locked, where the Earth could, like, if the moon had stronger gravity, it could lock Earth,
Oh, really?
but it just doesn't. So the Earth continues to rotate, but it keeps the moon stable
Mm. That's crazy.
relative to us.
You know the moon's moving far apart, right?
Yeah, I
Moving
think
away from
it
Earth.
1 centimeter a year, something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, at some point in Earth's lifetime, the moon will be gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. No moon.
But they
Why
said
is that?
in like ancient Greece or whatever, they said like they remember a time where there was no moon.
I don't. Who?
Who said that?
It was one of the
The
old
gods?
No, the old philosophers.
Yeah, when the gods made it, obviously.
It was like one of those ancient Greek philosophers. I don't know. They said there was a time before there was no moon. Yeah.
Was it Plato?
I think it was Plato.
He liked making things like that. It's usually analogies, you know. Like
Yeah.
Atlantis.
Hey, Atlantis is real though.
Atlantis.
According to Plato, yeah. According to Plato.
He learned it from the Egyptians.
Yeah, I heard that.
What else about the moon? They say aliens are on the moon. That's why we don't go there.
Nobody said that.
Yeah, huh?
That's like an old myth, though. That's not even fun. That's not even a fun.
I know
conspiracy.
it's not a fun one.
That's
It's
like
not.
back in the 50s, or I think.
You know something else though.
I thought like there was canals on Mars.
There are canals on
Oh
Mars.
yeah.
That used to be a huge
No,
thing.
but the Indian probe that went around photographed the two of the lunar modules.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like 14 and like Apollo 14 and 15.
I think isn't China setting up a base on the moon soon?
A lot of people want to set a base on the moon.
Well, I mean, like it makes a lot of sense. Like you should. Like every country should.
I think it would be cool. I would like to visit. I'd be like, moon.
I
guess.
Not
I mean, what's the point unless you're trying to go somewhere else?
Yeah,
like to Mars or something.
The moon is a lot more feasible than Mars, though.
That's what I mean. But like,
a lot more worth it.
But why? What's on the moon that's so worth it?
What's on Mars that's so worth it?
Well, Mars you could colonize.
Potential habitable planet.
Yeah, Mars you could colonize, but
you can't colonize Mars.
Yeah, you can.
No, you
could theoretically
you barely colonize Antarctica. What makes you think you can colonize Mars?
Because that's a polar. First of all, that's a polar cap. I mean, like,
and Mars is a desolate wasteland, just like Antarctica.
There's a lot of theories why it's a wasteland, though. Mars once had oceans.
Okay,
Mars
let's say you do colonize Mars somehow. You know, you obviously can't live on the surface, not with the radiation, right? The sand is so coarse that if you have a tear into your suit, you're done.
So you're saying
If
Elon
you,
Musk is doing all this for no reason?
it's honestly a waste. Yeah, it's honestly a waste. Okay,
Nah.
okay, hold on.
I
Let me continue. Let me continue.
I
Let me
think you could
continue.
terraform
So
Mars. You could
they
terraform Mars.
terraform
how
it.
you're
They
going to how you're
terraform it
going to
all the
change their
time.
atmosphere? How?
Yeah,
By,
nukes.
by terraforming. If you terraform the planet, it would terraform the atmosphere.
Okay, I understand what terraform means. I'm asking how. You could
Planting
say
trees.
nukes, but it would only change the ozone. Like I think it was a study about it. It was only like it would only be like a 5% change if you nuke.
Let me tell you
5%
something.
better than zero.
Let
Yeah,
me tell you
it's
something.
still not habitable.
Hold on. If they're investing billions, trillions of dollars and going to
It's a vanity
Mars,
project. That's all it
no.
is. It's a
Best
vanity
believe
project.
no.
It's a
Wait,
vanity
how?
project.
You're acting like the guy on Rogan right now.
I'm just saying it's a vanity project. Look at the shit they're making in Saudi Arabia, dude. You act like rich people don't spend on vanity projects.
Saudi Arabia, they get rain. You know what I mean?
They do, but they spend
yeah,
heavily on vanity projects too. Mars is
because
just
they got
another
the
vanity
money.
project. Let's say, okay, let me continue. Let's say, like, you
Okay.
nuke the ice caps. There's a 5% change in the ozone layer. You still have to live in these, like, you know, these bubbles. You know, these like bubble houses. Oh,
Yeah.
probably with people you don't like. You can't go outside. You can't go really anywhere. You're stuck in this little bubble city for the rest of your life. You can't go home, right? That's why. Have you ever heard of the Antarctica madness?
Yeah, I have, but hold on. It takes like 3 months to get to Mars, and then it takes another 3 months to get back.
If you can get back.
What makes you
And
think
not to mention, you're relying on Earth for all your supplies, from at least 90% of it for at least the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, let's say like the trajectory to Mars is just a little bit off, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And so not only are you going to be so far from Earth, you kiss your loved ones bye. You'll never see them again. You can't go
Good.
outside.
Good.
Even if your bubbles are part way, like let's say, like inside of Mars, because you'd have to go underground eventually, right?
Yeah.
That's more habitable than even living in a bubble.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know. It could be a pretty dope bubble.
You are going to go and have Antarctica madness because just like people in Antarctica, there's nothing. You're alone.
Okay. That's like this. Okay. What
You're
do
living
you
in an
say?
artificial simulation. You're living in an
Then
artificial
what's the point
environment for
in
the rest
What
of
do
your
you
life.
say? Here's the thing, though.
then
But
why go to the moon?
what do you
I'm
what
just
do you
saying,
say?
like the moon. At least if something goes wrong, you can get rescued. If something goes wrong in
But
Mars,
there's
you
nothing
can't.
there.
I'm just saying. No,
What
I'm
do you
just saying.
say?
Like at
What do
least
you say
if
to the
something goes
people?
wrong, if you're on the moon, at least there's a chance you can get rescued. There's no
But
chance on Mars.
here's the thing, Jordan. What do you say about the people that got on a ship 700 years ago and say, "I want to go and try and discover new land"? It's the same story.
Is it?
All throughout human history.
Okay, so
Kind
You
of
had
is. That's actually not a bad
first off,
analogy.
700 years ago, they thought they were going to go to India. They thought they were going to habitable land. When they didn't, they still discovered, hey, the land is habitable. There's people who live here. You're not going to see that on Mars
But you got to understand too, they're investing billions of dollars to
in the Vanity Project
you're like you're using that word to like
because it
shun everything.
is. Like,
So you're
how is
saying
it
they
not a
have
vanity
no idea.
project? Why would
You're
you
saying
personally go to Mars?
me personally, I probably wouldn't go to Mars. Not until like a couple 100 years. But it's got to start somewhere. You got to start.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm
Mars
just
is
saying they're
just.
trying to start.
I'm just
That's
saying,
all
like,
I'm saying. They're trying to start and get it going.
just
Why do you hate on this idea so bad?
because it's just not realistic.
It is
It's
realistic. That's why
totally realistic.
It's
yeah.
not. You nuke the ice caps for a 5% change in the ozone layer. Live in a
But
bubble
it's
all your
not
life. You can't get rescued if something goes wrong. Supplies are done if like trajectory is just slightly off because you have to have precise calculations because it's a 3 month trip to Mars. You're going to have Antarctica madness set in. You can't really go in the atmosphere. You're living in an
I
artificial
think it just
environment
depends on
for your whole life.
how
I'm just saying,
how
like,
many people go and how
yeah.
big of a footprint you build. And you got to have more. I mean, I don't think it would end with just one trip and then
Yeah, I
that's
know.
it. It would be
Yeah.
continuous.
One after like one every week or one every month or something. Like what?
Yeah,
like,
I think it would just be like you'd probably have people land. Like you would probably have the initial expedition.
yeah.
They would set up camp, and then you would have the next launch whenever it was like feasible to land close.
Yeah. Whenever it's close in the orbit or whatever.
But also, I don't know how long it takes to orbit Mars. I mean, I'm sure they could orbit it pretty well and then land decently.
You have these smartest people, some wealthy individuals, taking this problem head on, and you're saying no, it's not feasible.
It's not.
They're saying it is
desirable. We can't even colonize the Sahara.
If it wasn't desirable,
we can't colonize Antarctica.
Okay,
but we want to
if
colonize
it wasn't desirable, let's say this: if it wasn't desirable, how many people would go to Mars? You think nobody would go?
A lot less people than you might think. Again,
but would people still go?
Trip.
But would people still go?
They're
gonna be.
People would still go when they're escaping something too.
What is that called? Frontiers.
Are you thinking of Mars 1? Remember that?
No, I'm saying like when everybody was going west, there were frontiers, right?
Oh, you're thinking of frontiersmen?
Yeah, frontiersmen. Everybody like there's people like that want to be like frontiers on Mars.
I know, but the problem is like the people back then knew where they were going was habitable. We know that Mars isn't.
Well, they didn't know that. They were assuming it was.
They were assuming.
We had expeditions, surveyors. You're just talking about shooting a colony up there.
Yeah.
And you said why not put a base on the moon, right? Is the moon habitable?
No, it's not habitable. I'm saying it's a better alternative. I'm not saying either is great. I'm just saying it's a better alternative.
But they're putting. I mean, like I would argue that it's not. Honestly, they're only using the moon just because so they could get to Mars even quicker, right?
I'm just saying, like, if something goes wrong, at least there's a chance you can go home. That's the only.
There's always a chance to go home.
Moon is a little better, and not to mention the trip is shorter. Why take 3 months when you can take 3 days?
Because it'd be pretty dope to just kind of go through space for 3 months.
Yeah.
Will it? It's vastly empty up there.
Yeah, but it's something nobody's ever done before. I think you underestimate the ambition of people. I also think you underestimate the ambition of people. I will say though, what I would be worried about,
I'm calling it a vanity project,
is the underfunding and the over estimation of one's capabilities. Like I think you need to like send multiple rockets the first day, payloads and payloads and payloads.
You're not
saying the word terraforming, and there's plots upon plots of land that we can't live in, and we're supposed to make a wasteland of a whole planet habitable.
I mean, I think you're still gonna. I mean, yeah, potentially.
Yeah,
you could make it breathable.
People in Antarctica can't even live there for sustained periods of time, and you want to go to Mars.
Hold on.
I mean, every planet has their extremes.
Yeah, they have their extremes, but hold on now.
Just because you can't live there doesn't mean you can't be alive there.
Time out though.
Is it really?
Hold on though. You know for a fact, if politics wasn't involved, everybody wouldn't be hungry. You know what I mean? Everything. If politics weren't involved, money wasn't really involved, this whole planet would be habitable.
Wait, say that one more time?
I don't know about the whole planet being habitable.
Most of the planet, besides the extremes. People wouldn't be hungry. You know what I mean? People wouldn't.
Would lives be better? Absolutely. But I don't know if, like, let's say
100%.
There's going to be a massive city in the middle of the Sahara,
We could, but I'm saying we could terraform the Sahara. If politics wasn't involved.
But we really. Terraforming is sci-fi right now.
They did it in the Amazon.
They cut down trees in the Amazon.
What's the soil? There's a special type of soil.
Terra preta.
Terra preta.
Yeah, but you can get a special type of soil and plant it in, let's say, put it in the Sahara. It's just gonna die,
That's what was happening. Oh, hold on though. That's what was gonna happen in the Amazon. But these people, thousands of years ago, came up with that soil and put it all over the Amazon. And now look at it. We have the Amazon forest.
The Amazon's not a desert though. It has the right climate.
Yeah, that's true too. But I mean, like they terraformed the Amazon forest.
No, you're using the wrong kind of term there.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because they cultivated the Amazon doesn't mean it was
All right,
terraformed.
yeah, you're right. They
The
cultivate.
Amazon was possible to cultivate. Like, let's say
I,
Sahara
I
or like the middle
mean,
of
we
Saudi
do
Arabia is
know
not
that
capable.
liquid water was possible on Mars. There's the ice caps on Mars with frozen like CO2 and everything. Like you could theoretically, I'm sure if you were able to build some kind of atmosphere, parts of Mars would be completely habitable and parts of it wouldn't be because it'd be extremes.
Look, if we could change the atmosphere, I would change my opinion, but we can't. We probably won't for a century.
Well, we
Why do you
don't.
have that word
Don't
in
say
your
we can't.
vocabulary?
Don't say we
Yeah.
can't.
Can't?
Don't. Yeah. Stop saying that.
Look, prove me wrong.
They're
Can we
proving
do
you.
it? Can we do
they-
it right now? No,
We're-
then we can't.
What are you talking?
How do you know we can't?
How do
We
you know?
can't terraform a wasteland planet right now. We just
Don't-
can't.
Listen, you keep saying you can't,
just
but
not
they're doing.
habitable.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're going to
Who?
Mars.
No, they're just colonizing Mars. They're not changing Mars. We're just
They're-
putting bodies to die up there.
That's the plan. That's the plan. What are you talking about?
Just
That's
because you
the
put
plan.
people in a place doesn't mean they're going to thrive it and terraform it.
Yeah, I don't think you understand.
What am I not understanding?
Like the fact that you have these people that are going to Mars, that are going to colonize it, that are like talking, like you have these top scientists that go above your head, my head, Chris's head,
Okay.
that know exactly, that are very exceptional in their field, all coming together, that are saying that they can terraform this planet.
Mhm.
Has it been done yet? No.
Can it
But,
be done yet? No.
This is the only planet we know, bro. What are you talking
We know
about?
many planets.
What planet do you-
There's
all right, what
moons
planet-
that are a little more realistic around Jupiter.
What planet?
Then why wouldn't you just use Mars to get to those moons?
I think that's way better as a way station than full on.
But you still have to colonize it in some way.
Like as a like Antarctica, like make it like a new Antarctica. I would support that, sure, but like permanent residence there would be terrible. I would advocate as a way station if we have the technology, to like freely move around the planets, and like it takes
Yeah,
people
but I
short
think you
months.
would ultimately have people colonize it because it would be a waypoint. People would end up living there.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
Just-
people ain't living on Antarctica. People ain't living in.
Yeah, but there's not
Yeah,
that many
they
people
are.
passing through it.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people passing through it.
Hold on,
Not
no,
Antarctica,
No.
but the Sahara, yeah.
There are people
The
that live in
Sahara?
Antarctica.
Yeah. For thousands of years, people were passing by the Sahara,
They were, but they're not anymore, so nobody lives
but
out
nothing
there.
happened in there, did it?
Well, like you have places, there's multiple cities around the edges of the Sahara.
In oases, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
where
no
they could
oasis in
inhabit
Mars.
it.
You don't know
We
that.
could build one.
And you can build
We
one.
have the technology.
Do we?
Yeah. If we can throw up the International Space Station, you don't think we could build livable areas on Mars?
We don't even know the effects of the gravity would have on a long-term population yet.
That's math.
It's not math because we don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's math. They can figure
There's
out.
only one way to find
We
out,
don't even
baby.
know how childbirth would work on a planet with its gravity.
Oh,
There's a
Who
lot of
cares?
factors that we don't know. You shooting up a rocket is very nice and saying like let's colonize Mars, but there's a good chance you're just sending people to their deaths into a
Yeah, but they know that.
lonely, unforgiving wasteland.
All right, here's the thing. All right, this is the I get this. You are the safe. I'm not gonna venture out type of guy. But
Of
there's
course, I would like to venture out, but I know when something is just not going to happen anytime soon, or at least for our grandkids' like lifetime.
you don't.
Oh,
what?
I think there'll be people on Mars in the next couple
There was
decades.
supposed to
Yeah.
be people on Mars this decade,
Bro, they
I didn't say
went to
this
the-
decade. I
They
said
went
in
to
a
the
couple
moon
decades.
in the 60s.
huh?
They went to the moon in the
Yeah, what have we
60s.
done since?
We're about
Yeah,
to
there's
go to
been no-
Mars, bro.
There's no like pressure to
We're
go to
a
the moon
space
anymore. Well,
station.
aren't they going back to the moon at the end of the decade?
Yeah,
Like
it's
2028.
Yeah, we're
yeah, he was
supposed
talking
to.
about it, Orion or whatever. That's what the project's called or whatever. But I mean, China's setting up a base there. Like that's a big thing.
They're gonna land on the moon first.
Yeah, but the thing is like, listen, if you're bringing up some good questions, some great concerns, but these people have already figured it out.
I mean, have they, dude? We still don't know the effects.
How do astronauts get ready for the effects of gravity and
They go
stuff
to
like
Antarctica. I mean, not Antarctica.
They-
That's how they get ready for like the moon. But like how they get ready for like the gravity is that they go all the way up into the atmosphere in a plane and then turn off the engine.
that? Yeah. They also like move around in like the big pools and stuff like that. Now they probably have gravitational chambers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not really.
Do they not?
No, that's not a thing.
No, not
They literally mimic it on those high altitude planes, but they only get like seconds of like weightlessness.
Oh.
Yeah, I think most of it's underwater stuff.
Yeah, with the pressure and I'm pretty sure they found out a way to mimic that gravity. Like, I'm pretty sure they figured out a way.
I'm just saying,
Like
when the colony is set up, I'll make sure to sign your name on the dotted line.
I'm not going. What are you talking about?
Well, how come you don't want to go? Why?
Because
we
I
need
like
to step forward, right?
I like to be safe on the ground. I don't even like to fly.
How come you wouldn't be safe?
Anything can happen out in space, man.
Man, wild, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you give me a UFO and I'll be there in 2 seconds, then I'm down.
But we need to move forward, man, to be like one of those pioneers, right? They don't know what's going to happen, but they went for it anyway.
I'm not one of them type of guys. I'm not one of them type of guys, my God.
He's no Marco Polo, okay?
No Marco Polo.
No, I'm not. But I'm saying throughout human history, there are those type of people that are willing to go out, venture out, set up a base, and then people go and follow. Right?
Go out and set a base, and then you can come later to collect their bones.
I mean, which we did in history too.
Yeah.
Look at the lost colony of Roanoke. Colonized, dead.
I mean, no one found their bodies.
So you think we are just stuck here on this rock?
I'm not saying we're stuck here, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like the whole planning for Mars is a little like.
I think you got to take it one step at a time, though.
A little too ambitious right now.
I think
the moon is a better alternative.
It's not.
How is it not?
The moon doesn't even have an atmosphere.
So, if you can colonize the moon, you can colonize Mars.
I disagree.
Why?
Because, like you said, it's a long. You want that long travel. You need to be able to test that.
You want to do the long travel and the colonization first. Why not just do the colonization first and then add in the long travel?
Because you ain't that much closer. You might as well just go straight to Mars.
If you can colonize the wasteland of the moon, you can colonize Mars and then factor in the travel.
But you're not trying to. Yeah, but if you think we can colonize the moon, why don't we just go colonize Mars?
I don't think we can colonize the moon. I'm just saying, like, it's a better.
You just said we could.
I said it's better to focus on the moon than Mars. That's all.
No,
I'm not saying like it's fully possible. I'm just saying
we need to be multi-planetary, baby.
Want to do the Mars? That's why I'm calling Mars a project. You know. Because
I think the moon
first.
I think the moon comes with Mars.
Yeah.
I think
it's all one thing.
It should be the moon first, then Mars. That's why.
Why don't the Chinese do the moon and we'll do Mars?
Mars has always been, the dream. The dream of Mars. And that's all it is right now. It's just a dream. But that's why everyone's just like, oh man, we should colonize the Mars. My big plan is to colonize the Mars. I am space billionaire, very cool tech bro. I want to colonize Mars. It's because it ignites the imagination. It doesn't mean like it's feasible. Or
you hate Elon Musk. That's why.
Musk isn't the first one to talk about this.
I know, but I can. You have this hatred towards him.
He's not even the first tech bro to try this. Trust me.
I know that.
Tabs on them.
He's definitely the closest.
What is your hatred towards
I'll call him the closest because he actually has SpaceX. But like my favorite one was Mars One. Oh, if you remember that one, that was glorious. I signed up for it too.
To go to Mars?
Yeah, I signed up. There was like a couple people who signed up. What? I wanted to see their process. It was a Zoom call. Not a Zoom call. It was a Skype call.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see how their process of vetting worked, and it was lackluster at best. But
Maybe it just went over your head.
there was a lot
Oh,
of
here
people
it
who
is. Yeah, it's
signed
because
up
it was
without.
done by the Dutch.
There was a lot of people who signed up and didn't tell their families, like their wives, their children.
It went bankrupt in 2019.
Yeah, sucks. We were so close to the 2021.
Mm, yeah.
That was a good thing. But oh my
But
god, 2012 was just a
you
different
know
year.
what though? Mars is a dream though. But I mean, like,
It is. It is
work.
in so
But
many
here's the
ways.
thing. Here's the thing though. They are working towards it. And if you have all these brilliant people putting plans together, I'm
Who's
sure
putting
it's
plans
brilliant.
together?
You don't think Elon Musk and you don't think he has a whole crew that's working towards
No,
Mars?
Yeah,
honestly, no.
SpaceX has a whole Mars thing.
I'm
Yeah, they
pretty.
have a whole thing to
I,
Mars.
I I highly doubt the department is like a priority at all.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I know
I
what he's
think it
talking
kind of
about.
is.
If you're just like still trying to figure out your rockets, which in all intents and purposes they are, why are you just like, okay, let's also talk about colonization. Let's all talk about colonization of Mars. Like you have bigger worries, bro.
He's seeing the bigger picture.
And not to mention Musk says a lot of things, and not all of it is true.
Like what?
Uh the Boring Company is going to replace the high-speed rail in California. Remember that?
What high speed rail? There's no
California was
high speed. There's no high speed rail in California.
California had a docket like trying to pass a legislation to build a high-speed rail. And that's where the Boring Company came from. It was to combat that.
No,
It was
he
supposed
came
to
up with it in
relieve-
traffic.
He came up with it to relieve traffic, but documents came out that it was to kill the high-speed rail in California. Because
maybe
the
he wanted-
high-speed rail in California does what? It alleviates traffic, yes, but it also alleviates the need for cars, what is his number one priority is Tesla.
I thought his number one priority was Mars, honestly.
His number one priority is Tesla. Tesla's what's making
I don't know.
money.
I think no, SpaceX is making him money.
Yeah.
Tesla is his bread and butter. It's making
I'm
him
pretty
money.
sure the
No,
government
what-
contracts that he gets from
He gets
SpaceX.
government contracts for Tesla. Those like green tokens that he sells off.
You mean the cap and trade?
Not the cap and trade. You get like a clean air token, and you can sell those to like other car companies that aren't like doing.
Yeah, it's a carbon
Yeah,
thing.
the carbon tokens, right? Something
Yeah,
like
cap and trade.
Yeah.
It's a carbon cap, and you can trade tokens to other people and sell them off.
that. Yeah, he makes a lot of money doing that
Yeah.
for Tesla.
Hold on, no. Did you guys know, by chance, that there is a hold on. Did you guys know there's an Invention Secrecy Act?
What do you mean?
So the Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 requires the government to impose secrecy orders on certain patents applications that contain sensitive information or anything that could detrimental national security.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds right.
But
Lockheed, Boeing, all those guys.
yeah, so like the only reason why I know this is because like I went down this rabbit hole about like hydrogen cars, like how people were making cars that ran on water.
That's like the one guy who then died.
It's not just one guy.
I mean, if it's
It
true,
was just the one guy.
It's not just one guy. There's multiple guys.
No, there's not.
If it's true, and that was possible, I can imagine you'd have a whole kind of crackdown on yourselves, especially with the automotive industry.
It wasn't just one guy. It was
America loves our cars.
and they said like that's when people were like, yeah, so if you are inventing like a hydrogen thing, but it's so like inventors now they have that they have that issue where like if they do invent something, their patent can be taken from that secrecy thing, especially if corporations don't want any competition. And also like a government, like say if you are trying to like build something, they could just say, oh, that's a weapon of mass destruction, and
They can put you on the Titanic.
But because I never heard of that before, and they did that a lot with Nikola Tesla with all his patents. They took it. You know, that's why nobody. But you know, like with Nikola Tesla and all his
He had a
patents,
lot of random
kind of
patents, though.
yeah.
Death ray.
But see, you don't know what's myth and what's true, right?
Also, didn't you say that was in the 1950s? Wasn't Tesla before then?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was like after he died, they like.
They took everything. They took everything, and we don't.
I mean,
You
it's
know,
not like it was hard. He was in poverty at the time. By
Yeah,
the time
I
he
thought
died.
what's his face took most of them.
Who, Edison?
Edison, yeah.
Edison didn't
Didn't
take
Edison
most
kind
of
of
it.
steal them and like yeah,
Edison stole from everybody.
yeah, he did.
Tesla
Or
wasn't
he just
special
took
in that
credit.
regard. Yeah, Tesla wasn't special in that regard.
I think they said Donald Trump's dad took most of it.
What, Fred Trump? I don't know. He was like he was a real estate guy. What did
Yeah, I
he
don't think
take?
so.
Somebody's dad, I forget. Somebody like well-known's dad was like part of the FBI that went in there and scoped. I forget who it was.
That sounds like an urban legend.
But I mean, like,
If anybody was still in secrets, would probably be like good old W's dad.
yeah, that was the other one. That was the other one. But you know what though? This guy on Joe Rogan, what's his name again, Chris?
Bart Sibrel.
Bro.
My
He was
hero.
talking about hard on the CIA, and it got me thinking, man.
Well,
Where
because
I
like
think-
if you don't know what's going on, you just blame the CIA.
That's literally what he does. That's literally what he does. He goes, he's like, and they said this word talk. He's like, it's this, and the CIA chimes in, and Rogan's like, how do you know it's the CIA? He's like, well, who else would it be?
Yeah,
who else would it be?
Like, I'm surprised you didn't.
You know?
I'm surprised he didn't float the whole like Sphinx, the chamber under the Sphinx head. The reason we can't dig is because of the CIA, obviously.
That's probably is the reason. I think the CIA
Not
runs
LCC
everything.
or anything.
I think they run everything. Whoever the top dog's there, they run everything.
I mean, Egypt's in no position to like push back against any superpower at the moment. But yeah,
Who you know what was also interesting that I heard from there was that the Apollo program was compartment what's that word?
Compartmentalized.
Yeah. Why is that?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of things are.
All just from keeping spies out
Yeah, I mean, you got to think why were we doing it?
to get
We
to the
were
moon.
going against. No, it was about getting there before the Soviets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole reason why we don't go to the moon. We haven't been to the moon again.
What kind of projects now that is happening now that you think is being compartmentalized?
Compartmentalized.
We have a lot.
Probably
We have
all
quite
kinds
a
of stuff.
few, but they just it takes a long time to get these projects off. The ground.
Satellite development, spy planes.
Spy planes. We still trying to send more telescopes out into space. We have a few drills we're sending out to space, like specifically one like Europa and Titan, which actually sounds pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool.
But here's the thing: is the way they do it now, and how they kind of did it back then, is they just hire private companies.
Yeah.
And they'll hire multiple companies to work on different parts.
Yeah, and then put it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Very
I mean, I think that's how they, Manhattan Project was incredibly compartmentalized.
Yeah.
That's
the only one that we know. Like that's like the most famous one, I would feel like.
Well, because it changed the world.
Yeah,
it.
it did. Have you ever seen that movie?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oppenheimer?
I still haven't seen it.
I thought it was good, man.
I thought it was good too. And remember when they dropped the bombs and then the guy was like, he went to go see the White House. He went to go see the president at the White House.
Oh, Truman.
Yeah. And Truman was like, "Bro, get this guy out of here." It was
That sounds like Truman.
like, dude, he was like psychopath or sociopath.
A lot of people didn't like Truman.
I didn't know that.
His successor was a little better.
Who was the successor?
Eisenhower.
Well, I mean, you got to think Truman was there because FDR died, so
That was the only reason.
he wasn't actually elected. He didn't even know the Manhattan Project was happening.
He got in the office and they were like, "Sir, we got something to tell you. We got a bomb."
Yeah.
Because he was the vice president, so.
Back then, the vice president didn't have like nearly as much power as they do now.
They still don't have any power. They don't fall under the chain of command for anything.
I mean, that's how like TR became president. He was put there to be shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear about that? The whole conspiracy on TR's presidency.
Of course,
Yeah, that's a good one. Ended up being the
you
bait.
know
He ended up like smacking them too.
the 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 vice president is only as powerful as the president wants them to be.
Oh wow.
Just think about it, because like there's nothing in the Constitution that gives the vice president really any authority.
Yeah, you're just the backup. You're the
So
spare.
yeah, that's all you really are. And at the end of the day, if you only have the power if the president delegates some kind of authority to you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, what do they got Kamala doing right now? Nothing, dude.
That's
They're
just
just
She goes to Puerto Rico.
She talks.
She talks. She says to tell.
she
She
don't
tells people.
she don't talk that much.
She shakes
She
hands.
laughs. She's on her phone saying, "We did it, Joe."
Yeah, we did it, Joe. Biggest. She's Joe Biden's only fan.
I think they're trying to hide her in a closet, bro.
I mean, wouldn't you? No one voted for
I mean,
her.
no, it's like they're like, we got to deal with Joe already. Like, can you just show up? Like,
And she's probably in the big
our
spot.
job's already hard enough.
Okay.
What, Joe? What are you saying? Just get Joe some ice cream. So
Yeah. Sir, I need you to sign this. Sign what? Did you see? Oh my God. When he was reading off the prompter and he read the word pause. Oh my God. Did you see that?
No,
Oh my God.
Please tell me he said it like definitively. He was like, pause.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like it was like direction to him. Like I can't remember what the first part was, but he says it and goes, say your name or something like that. And pause.
God, this is like George Bush.
Dude, I'm telling you, no, it's like Ron Burgundy. Like
yeah.
it was literally that. Like
I love this timeline, dude.
it was just like, oh my God.
You know how
This
people
is what
said the
we're
world
doing.
went wrong as soon as Harambe the gorilla died? I feel that is so true. Like the world before Harambe was so much more. It was just easier, you know.
Yeah.
It's more figured out. It feels.
That's been crazy.
But you know, like when I was looking up like the founding fathers and their age, that I had a realization like, why are we have these old people in the office when the people that created the country was like 30 years younger than the people in the office?
I mean, like you can be significantly younger. Significantly younger people can be in Congress, as it was with the founding fathers. But like the presidents, have all really been old. George Washington was old.
Yeah.
John Adams was old.
But the
The
people
youngest
that
president we had was like what, JFK.
but they
Mhm.
built
I think
this.
Obama was really close, but he wasn't
Yeah,
quite as
he was
young.
like
He was
40,
in like
right?
early 50s. Yeah, maybe like 49 or something.
That's
Yeah.
why a lot of people love JFK and his Camelot office, because he was supposed to be like this young innovator. You know, he was going to really shake
Mhm.
up America.
I know. We need somebody young. Just give it a shot.
But that's just not how it goes. You had a chance, man. Did you vote for Pete Buttigieg in the Democratic primary in 2020? No, you don't want anyone.
Was it 2020? Yeah, it was 2020. That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're voting for Republican. Did you vote for Vivek? I think he was the youngest in the GOP primary.
Yeah, but nobody really thought the GOP primary wasn't real. Like
Yeah.
it was just for show.
Yeah.
He did Trump. They didn't
Trump
show
never
up.
even he didn't even do anything.
He
Dude.
didn't even.
He didn't
Yeah.
show up, dude.
Everybody. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Trump
like,
got that on lock.
it's not like young people don't run. You know, it's just nobody votes for them.
Yeah, nobody
wants
takes them seriously.
That grizzled, experienced leader who, is knocking on Alzheimer's door for some reason.
I think you need somebody in their late 40s.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'm down.
I say early 40s.
Nah, you don't. I feel like you want them to have some life
Who wants some life?
and
Like,
some experience.
I mean, look
you
at
know.
Bill Clinton. He was still at the age where he was still getting some in the White House. You know, you want someone around that age.
I say I want somebody like 45-ish.
45-ish. Okay.
Yeah.
45 is not a bad age.
How old is the guy from Ukraine?
Zelensky?
He's not that old.
50s.
He's not that old, right?
I don't know. He might only be in his 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember which country it is has like a prime minister that's like 32. Maybe like New Zealand
I
or
think that's like, it's El Salvador.
Was it?
I think El Salvador has a very young president.
I
He was born in 81.
the thing is for
Not-
the thing for me is like I feel like
Zelensky's 46.
a younger leader has more like fight in them.
a little more life in them.
Yeah, they have a more fight. They have a bigger vision because they're they're not gonna be 80 and then just die.
Well, the
You know,
dreams
they're not
also
gonna
haven't been crushed yet.
they're
So
not
it's
gonna
nice to
keep,
see.
but they're also not gonna keep on with the old
The old
habits.
guard.
Yeah, you
And
know
that's
what I
one
mean?
of the reasons why they can't win because it's the old guard that's really making the decisions, right? Especially like when you have like legacy media at your back, you have those lobbyists at your back. You get these infinite money glitches. Young people aren't getting those.
Yeah, the prime minister of Finland is 34 right now.
Oh, he's
Or she's 38. She was like 34 when she was elected.
Yeah, I want a president that can have a party scandal.
yeah.
Party.
Yeah, didn't she? Yeah, she was like
did.
doing like. Yeah, dude.
It's
I mean, you know, when we get our first Gen Z president, like it's gonna be wild, dude. It's gonna be
Wild.
idiocracy.
when we
That's-
find their like YouTube and Twitch account, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Scandal.
Yeah, like where's their OnlyFans? You know?
Yeah,
This
exactly.
president has posted too many Pepes. here's the Wojak version of my opponent. We're going to see a lot of those. It's going to be wonderful. All right. That's all the time we have left. Thank you for tuning in to Back Society. This is Jay signing off.
This is us,
Let's see money.
baby.